Hey, I'm Warren Kinsella with BATRA'S Burning Questions. I've always wanted to do this to kick it off for my boss, Adrienne Batra, and now I get to do it. I'm not going to ask her for a raise on camera, but I am going to ask her a few questions about this, the third week in the federal election campaign. So, Adrienne, I wanted to get your view on what do you think about this sexual harassment issue that has been dogging Trudeau throughout this past week?
And so, just to be clear, are you saying that you believe your candidate and not the women?
I have said that Mr. Saini has shared the processes. There have been rigorous processes undertaken that he has shared the details of. We know that it is extremely important to take any allegations seriously, which we certainly have, and we always will, because everyone deserves a safe workplace.
I think one of the things that frustrates me the most with respect to this whole situation, because there's a few candidates the Liberals have had over the how many years, Warren, where they've had either sexual harassment, sexual allegations against them, how it is possible the Liberals managed to sneak through. So let's just go reset the scene. A few days ago, Erin O'Toole had a candidate out east who had some allegations against him. And that serious allegations, but nonetheless, the candidate was dumped. Less than 24 hours later, a very similar situation happened with a Liberal candidate, and Justin Trudeau was asked about it. And it wasn't just one allegation, it was two, it was six. And yet this individual still gets to run. Yet I find it the hypocrisy frustrating. I watch, of course, like you do, with great interest on social media, how people react to this. The TrueAnon Liberal supporters, they pounce anytime it's a conservative. Conservatives try to hit back a bit, but there seems to be there's a bit of a double standard. And I don't know if that's because Justin Trudeau is a self-professed feminist and Erin O'Toole has not said those words, that somehow they get a bit more leeway. I just find that is probably one of the most frustrating things, why the Liberals managed to get away with allegations against sexual harassment, sexual assault, yet the Conservatives are held to a different standard.
Well, Erin O'Toole went after Justin Trudeau in that first French language debate on that issue, and Trudeau looked very uncomfortable. But one issue that didn't come up as much in that first French language debate was the Liberal platform. And, apologies to drunken sailors everywhere, but it does spend like a drunken sailor team. And just wondering if you felt that the Liberals achieved anything at all with the launch of that platform earlier this week.
Well, I think the front page of the Toronto Sun said it all. The grit that keeps on giving. The finance minister, Chrystia Freeland, came out with a budget almost 2 years after this government had come to power. And, other provincial governments were able to put forward budgets even during the pandemic, Warren, but the Liberals were unable to until just before the federal election. That was a whopping $142 billion price tag on that. And now the Liberal platform is adding tens of billions of dollars more on top of that. The question is whether it works. Often that whole notion of bribing us with our own money in order to get our vote, I don't know if Canadians are going to buy into it. I think that there has been, far from the days of Preston Manning, of balanced budgets, even your old boss, Jean Chrétien, and the former finance minister, Paul Martin, those guys wanted to get the finances of the country in order. This is a different type of Liberal mentality where it's very much more socialist in terms of the spend, damn the deficits be, it's not our problem. During the pandemic, we knew that the federal government had to get money out the door, and a lot of money out the door very quickly for Canadians. That's understandable. But then there were the untold billions that just kept flowing for no rhyme or reason. And that's going to come home to roost at some point. So when I see the Liberal platform just committing so much more without any real cohesive narrative about, there's a slogan is, of course, Build Back Better. What does that mean? I just don't think Canadians are going to buy it this time around.
Yeah, agreed. And it doesn't seem to have given them the liftoff that they desperately need. If you look at every poll, just about, the Liberal Party is behind a little bit or quite a bit. So, therefore, what we saw Trudeau doing this week, as he did last week, is going hard at this vaccination issue, even though he's got unvaccinated candidates. In that French debate, he just went after O'Toole, and O'Toole looked a little bit uncomfortable on this vaccination issue. Do you think that it is something that can work for Justin Trudeau?
I think it's going to work with certain pockets. If we go right back to the very first day when the writ was issued, Trudeau wanted to make the narrative that throughout the tone of this campaign about those who are vaccinated versus those who are not. And I think the vast majority of Canadians who have gone and gotten vaccinated believe in it, believe that this is what's going to help us get out of COVID-19. And frankly, they're right in that regard. But they also don't like to see their other fellow Canadians who have some vaccine hesitancy, have some maybe issues with respect to getting that. I don't think that they actually like seeing them getting bullied or being called names or being talked down to or being segregated. All of these sorts of things are not things that I think Canadians are comfortable with, though they wish they would get vaccinated. Don't think they like that the big, strong arm of government, particularly in this case. And tying them in, these anti-vaxxer protesters, tying them in with the Conservatives, it is not really holding much water either, because multiple media outlets have done the fact checks on this. This is a group of individuals who just, are very engaged online and know where the leaders are and want to protest and don't vote for any particular party one way or the other. So I think with those who are already going to support Liberal, this works with them. For those who are on the fence, I think they may see some of the language and the tactics a bit distasteful for either side. And then, Warren, they may look at parking their vote with the NDP.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. We got some more debates to go. Adrienne Batra, thank you so much. This has been Batra's Burning Questions. Make sure to follow us on all of your favorite platforms and tune in for Adrienne's next show. Thank you.